Hello, 7-footers. Welcome back. And we are here for a special episode, Gerard and Jenna. We are going to do the hottest NBA headlines of the week, as you know, but we are also going to let you guys know our NBA All-Star picks.
All-Star selection, starters and reserves.
Exactly. We're going through the entire roster today. And Gerard
Jenna
left me a note in our pre-podcast outline that said, I'm not letting you know any of my picks, and it's going to be a surprise. So that's definitely going to be a more candid conversation at the end of this episode.
For those of you that know, Jenna loves to copy off my homework all the time. So,
like I said, Gerard is still scarred from grade school. I don't copy anything. So there's that. Let's get into it, though. NBA headlines of the week. We have to talk about this. It just happened last night, January 23rd. Victor Oladipo suffered a ruptured quad tendon in his right knee and will undergo surgery. And the Pacers, he's just out. He's out for the season. It's done.
That was a tough blow. So I was covering the Nets game last night against the Magic, and I had that game up on the TV in press row, and I saw that injury. And when I saw it, I was just sort of like, well, what happened?
Carried off by a stretcher, which was the scariest part.
Well, when he went down, he immediately called for the trainer, and
he knew.
Whenever a player does that, you know it's never a good sign.
He held his knee. He knew.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. And
he was in pain.
It's a shame because Vic was coming back off injury already this season, and he had blossomed into a star in the league. Was an All-Star last year. On his way to being an All-Star this year. The Indiana Pacers are currently the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. I mean, he's their guy. Like, he is the guy for Indiana. So this is obviously a tough blow for Nate McMillan and the rest of the Pacers. And the question is now, if you're Indiana, what do you do going forward?
Well, exactly. How do we restructure this lineup to move on without Oladipo? Who do you bring into the lineup? What do we do? Because let's be serious, he is the focal point of...
For sure.
That roster.
For sure. I mean,
for the Pacers.
Tyreke Evans is going to have to get more playing time, which, it's kind of a dicey proposition. We'll see how that goes overall. Do they make a move? February 7th is the trade deadline, as
they
we know.
have some time.
What do we do there? Because and they also have Drew Holiday's younger brother, Aaron Holiday, on the squad, a rookie that they drafted last year. So, listen, necessity is the mother of invention, right? So they got to figure something out. So Tyreke, Aaron Holiday, these guys are going to be getting more playing time. Let's see what they can do. The tough part, again, for a squad like Indiana is, trades probably what they're going to have to do to see if they can get anything. What do they have in terms of assets to give out? We'll see. But this is a tough blow for Indiana, and more so about Victor because, a quadriceps tendon injury, that's a tough one, and that's going to, as he comes back from it, rob him of some of his athleticism. And that's a big part of Victor's game, right? The ability to get to the rack. And also, that's a huge part of his defensive game. He's an excellent defensive player as well. So, tough break for Indiana and for Victor.
Very, very tough. I mean, we'll see how they move forward and see what's going to happen. But like we said, he is out for the season. And I'm not going to lie, this is a little spoiler for later, but I did have him in my All-Star reserves pick.
I had Victor as well, and I'm going to keep him on just because...
me too. I didn't make a change.
Right.
I didn't.
We're keeping it because these All-Star picks were made in advance, and so Vic's staying on.
Exactly. Let's move on here because there was a little scuffle between the Nuggets and the Jazz on January 23rd. Jazz power forward Derek Favors and Nuggets backup center Mason Plumlee. Okay, they were both ejected after they exchanged some shoves, resulting in a scrum underneath the basket with, 2:46 left in the first quarter of the Jazz's 114-108 win.
Yeah, big win for Utah.
Now, this brings up a lot of questions because when the scuffle was happening, half of the Nuggets bench came off of the bench, and although they were out of bounds, they were coming over to the scuffle, which happened underneath the basket. So when you have that...
We have the rules about suspension when you leave the bench.
Exactly. If you leave the bench, you're suspended indefinitely for a game. But a lot of people came into question, hey, they're out of bounds, especially Jokic.
Right.
And they're out of bounds, but...
You still came on the floor,
You still came off the bench, and according to league rules, if you come off the bench a substantial amount of territory, it's a suspension. So we'll see if half the Nuggets bench is basically suspended.
mean,
But do you think there should be an exception
look,
for this? Because it was bad.
There has to be some kind of room for interpretation with these rules, right? Like watching the replay again. Look, Plumlee and Favors probably may get a game or two, right? Because they got tossed.
Of course,
so,
they should have.
So they're gonna get something.
Yeah.
Where it stands right now, Jokic could possibly get suspended because he was off the bench.
He was far off the bench, and you saw one of the assistants trying to push him back.
Right,
in the footage.
because they knew there needs to be a level of sort of leeway in terms of, okay, like, were they going off the bench with the intention of escalating the situation?
Yeah.
Or do they go off the bench with the hope of grabbing their guys and calming everybody down and bringing people back into the huddle? Look, Adam Silver's a great commissioner. The league will review this, and hopefully half the Nuggets won't get suspended because that'll should be a problem roster-wise, right?
Exactly. I hope not. I mean, I don't think that anybody should get a suspension besides the two guys involved in this.
Anyone who's on the floor who's involved with threw punches, fine. But if you're trying
Right.
to pull your guys away and bring them back to the side, come on.
Exactly.
Let's move on.
Amen. I completely agree. And with that, let's move on here because we have some breaking headline news that happened today, January 24th. Nets Spencer Dinwiddie has torn ligaments on his right thumb and is evaluated for surgery.
Yeah.
He'll probably need surgery, according to sources. Shams, obviously from The Athletic.
Yeah.
Now, he met with a specialist on the 24th. He's expected to see another. But should the Nets be worried now? Because we're racking up injuries here. And they're in a playoff seed right now, and they're playing
6.
so well. So should the Nets be worried right now with this
Absolutely.
loss?
100%. I mean, look, the Nets already lost Karis LeVert, their best player at the beginning of the season. Now, LeVert,
thank gosh it looks
the injuries,
worse
right,
than it was.
The injury's not as bad as we originally thought. And,
Yeah.
looks like Karis will probably be back sometime around mid-March if I were to take a guess.
Yeah.
And from what the scuttlebutt of what we're hearing. Look, Spencer Dinwiddie is their leading scorer for the season right now.
I had him for one
you
of my
Sixth Man of the
mid-season
Year.
awards.
You did. You had him Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah.
That now means, and he's the first guy off the bench for them. So now you're gonna have what? Shabazz Napier playing more minutes. Theo Pinson from the Gatorade leagues have to come up and play more minutes.
Young guy.
You've got young guys who aren't going to be able to give what Spencer gives.
No.
And close out games. And I know he wants to see another specialist to get a second opinion, which of course you should always do. But if you've got torn ligaments, the likelihood is you're probably going, and his right hand is his shooting hand. So, the question is, I saw something on Twitter, and she shouts to our girl at Count on Vic on Twitter. She said, "Nah, he's gonna tape that up like Kobe and just get out there and ball, right? Mamba mentality," which
Right.
I have my thoughts on Mamba mentality, as you know.
Oh, we know.
But no, look, if the Nets are going to make a playoff run, they need Dinwiddie. So this injury could not come at a worse time for them.
Completely agree.
Again, the trade deadline is about 13 days away, February 7th. So who knows what the Nets can do? We shall see. Sean Marks is a good GM. We know they have cap space for this summer. We talked about that. What kind of assets do they have now that they can trade to potentially bring something back? We shall see. But this loss for Dinwiddie will hurt them if he's out for any kind of extended period of time. Which
Absolutely.
again, it's early, but it's not looking great if you are a fan of the Brooklyn Nets.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now's the time where we start to get worried, especially after, that mid-season hump. And now that we're into 2019, trade deadline's coming up, we'll have to see what happens there.
Really quick. Kenny Atkinson, Nets head coach, was on Mad Dog Unleashed today, radio station, and said reports of Spencer being out were hasty, and they're still trying to determine what to do. So that again goes back to the idea of him getting that second opinion to see what's going to actually happen.
Yeah.
And also news for the Nets. Looks like Trevion Graham is missing some time. He has a torn hamstring. So, although Kenny denied that report. See, we're getting all kinds of mixed information.
Exactly.
But anyway, looks like some injury bugs are biting the Nets right now, and hopefully they'll get healthy as quickly as possible.
Looks like they went from Houston to
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
The bugs flew.
All right, let's move on here to more positive note. Boogie Cousins return on Friday, January 18th. He dropped 14 points, 6 rebounds in 15 minutes to help beat the Clippers on the road at Staples Center 112-94. He did foul out, but when he left the court, he left his standing ovations from his teammates
Oh, you love this
and the
stuff.
fans. I love this. You know me. I love a good comeback story. I love a good feel-good headline.
Yeah, you
That's
love
what
it.
I like, you know?
love it. You love it.
That's my thing. But what is your opinion about Boogie's return? Did he fit nicely into the 15 minutes that he played?
He did, and he looked good on Monday night against the Lakers as well. Look, because on that Laker game, that's the game where Clay hit a record.
Was it 14 threes?
Something like that.
I think it was, yeah.
And a lot of those threes that he hit, Boogie set the screen to create space for him.
Exactly.
So that is the huge thing that they have a presence with Boogie now, is his ability to set screens and legitimately clear space.
Mm-hmm.
Boogie is a large human being.
He's hard to get past. You can't get past him. That's why he's so good in the paint, setting screens.
Fighting over that screen, if you're a defender, and it is tough. And you do that over the course of 4 quarters, you're going to feel it.
Absolutely.
So Boogie's excellent at that. And what we saw in the first game on Friday against the Clippers, Boogie's an excellent 3-point shooter. So they can they can run him when they get out. He can be the trail player, and they can float to him out at the 3-point line, and he makes that shot at a good clip, high 30s. So listen, Boogie's going to be a great fit for them. I think his idea is, let me show my worth, because everyone thought that I'm not a max guy, I'm not going to come back. Look, he's still a long ways away from being the All-NBA 25, 12, 4, that guy. But look, he's got skills. And on this team, I think you're seeing other parts of his game. And it's giving him an opportunity to showcase, hey, this summer, because Golden State already said, we won't be able to afford to bring you back, I'm someone who you guys should be interested in.
Exactly. And off of that, here's the point, too. This return for Boogie, although it holds so much weight, there is more pressure on this return for Boogie, because it's almost like a job interview for the rest of the league for him.
Sure.
Who's going to pick him up after this 1 year with the Warriors? Because like you said, Steve Kerr already said, listen, we got him for a year. We're not going to have him after this. So this is more... Obviously, it's him being a part of the Warriors, getting another chip, hopefully, this and that. But this is obviously more toward the end of the season, a job interview for this man.
Absolutely.
And see where he can fit in and go next. Because like we said before, too, a lot of teams were kind of overlooking him and not really wanting to take him on. Oh, he's not worth it, this and that. Nobody really wanted to sign him before the Warriors took him on. So this is a crucial time for him.
Oh, absolutely.
On all fronts.
The other interesting thing to note about Boogie is when the Warriors, who typically like to close games out with their Hamptons 5, or that lineup with Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and Andre Iguodala, you got Boogie Cousins now. So we know KD, Steph, and Clay are going to always be on the court at all times. The question is it going to be Draymond and Boogie sometimes? Is it going to be Andre? Because one of Dre and Iguodala are going to have to sit sometimes in those situations.
I feel like it's going to be a little bit of rotation. Let me rest.
But I'm not so much worried about it in the regular season. I'm talking about in the playoffs.
Oh,
who's it going to be?
Let's be serious. It's going to come down to who's playing the best. It's a situation like Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka.
Because look,
Luka's playing better.
Here's the thing. As good as Draymond is in terms of facilitating the offense, leading the break, and all that, Draymond's still not a plus offensive player.
No, he's inconsistent.
Boogie Cousins is a plus offensive player. So,
when it comes down to it in the playoffs, in my opinion, I think Steve is going to go with, okay, how are we going to win? I'm sorry,
dependent.
but nobody cares about your feelings. Nobody cares. And then here I go. I'm going to tell you right now, that's when Draymond's going to lose his SHIT, and he's going to, do what he does.
Start barking.
This time, it might be on a different person. So, your girl's calling it right here.
We shall see. You heard it here first, folks. Jen's calling it.
Right?
Trouble in Golden State.
For sure. Let's move on, because this headline struck a lot of notes here, okay?
Yeah.
The Grizzlies, ready to hear trade offers for Mike Conley and Mark Gasol. Okay, I have an issue with this because unless you're coming out and saying, let's have a major rebuild, why are you getting rid of your two main guys? Yes, we're a little bit up in age, but I mean, these are pillar players, in my opinion, for the Grizzlies.
Because have you seen the Grizzlies' record this year?
I mean, yes, but okay. So here's my question: are we rebuilding entirely? Because Conley said the Grizzlies owner willingly told him about trade talks. He seemed mellow about it. He didn't really say much. Gasol declined to comment about owner Robert Parra's conversation with him about the trade talks and said that that's kind of private for him. But let's also know that he can opt out of his contract this summer and. He hasn't asked for a trade, though.
Look,
so Conley was surprising to me.
The bottom line is that the Mike Conley, Marc Gasol era in Memphis is over. That has run its course.
Okay.
We have seen what that squad can do, and when they're healthy, they're pretty good. But you know it's been a thing for them. The two of them being healthy for an entire run through the playoffs, and look, it is what it is, man. Conley still has value. So does Gasol. He's a little getting older now, so you know.
Gasol's iffy though.
It's iffy, you know. Look, Memphis, and you know where I'm going with this. Memphis should be rebuilding. They have a stud in Jaren Jackson Jr. on their team.
Oh yeah.
And they need to do everything they can to build around this young man, who, by the way, he's only 19 years old.
It's actually insane.
Ridiculous.
It's insane. And you know what? On a side note too, I have interviewed him. You have too.
Yep.
He doesn't look like a 19-year-old kid.
He doesn't look like a 19-year-old kid, but when you talk to him, you're like, oh yeah, you're 19, right?
He's learning.
And I mean that in the most in the best way possible. But he's just young, right? And you can tell he's got a youthful exuberance about him and excitement for the game, and he's super talented.
So talented.
He
needs some help, but yeah.
He could end up being the best player out of that draft last year, and that's a draft that includes Luka Doncic and Trae Young and all these other people, right?
Very true.
He is super talented, but he needs to have that opportunity to develop, and Memphis needs to figure out, okay, are we going to build a team around this young man? Because look, remember, Memphis isn't a free agent destination. They're not going to be able to, lure KD types and these high-end free. That's just not how that's going to go.
No.
So they've got to draft well, and they have to be smart about who they can pick up in trades and things of that nature.
Exactly, amen. And I mean, I think we both agree that the Grizzlies are in rebuild mode if they're opening to trade talks for these two guys.
And here's the thing. If they're willing to trade Conley and Gasol, who might want to pick them up?
Well, here's my thing. Where do these guys fit? Who needs a Mike Conley? Who needs a Gasol? Tell me where you see these two guys going.
Conley's an excellent point guard, really good at the pick and roll.
Who needs a point guard, though? That's the thing.
Who does need a point guard? I mean, you're looking at a playoff team, right? Contenders who want to kind of make that next move and take on the salary, too. That's the other thing. Do you want to take on that salary?
Well, we have to take into account both of these men are in their 30s. So who needs a 30-some-year-old point guard?
Also true. You know what we're going to do? We're going to save that for next week's episode.
All right, fair enough.
Our trade deadline special, where I'll have some ideas about where I think Mike Conley, Marc Gasol, et al. May go.
Exactly. All right, fair enough. Let's move on to the Lakers because a lot of Lakers fans should be worried, in my opinion, all right? Lonzo Ball, point guard, out 4 to 6 weeks with a grade 3 ankle sprain. He had a little bit of an ankle sprain during a loss to the Rockets on January 19th, okay? They gave up a 17-point lead in 3:30 left of the game without Lonzo after he left the floor with his injury. Now, they eventually lost 138 to 134 in overtime, though. Lakers took the Rockets to OT. Let's just lay it out there.
Kuzma and Ingram were pretty good in that game.
Exactly. Now we already have LBJ out. We have Rondo out with unexact timetables to return, but now we have Lonzo out. Should the Lakers be worried?
Super producer Lee, you were a Laker fan. Are you worried?
Worried? No.
She says she's not worried.
She's not worried? You're not worried?
No.
You got faith in LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I do, but if they don't make it, they don't make it. It's all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. I still think they need the time to get used to each other still. It's still very new. To me, the chemistry still isn't where it's going to be.
Yeah.
See,
It's not there.
She's a rational Laker fan.
I love Lee.
She's very rational.
Super producer Lee.
Because here's the
Lakers
thing,
fan.
because regular Laker fans, not rational like that. They want to jump off buildings. They're like, oh my God, trade everybody. What are we gonna do?
Hey. All I'm
We
saying
gotta go up.
is,
We gotta win the championship this year. And I'm like,
it's not happening
pause.
this year.
Let's
be serious.
keep it all the way 100.
Could it happen if they get a big name free agent? Of course,
Yeah,
I think.
but you ain't getting no big name free agent.
Oh well, Lee and I are about to fucking.
Not this season. You're not. Who you getting this season?
It's a fact.
Who coming here this season?
Listen, you think I got a crystal ball in front of me? I
Yeah,
don't
that's my
freaking know.
point. You got nothing. Listen, here's the thing. When LeBron gets back, the hope is.
He is roasting me.
Well, because
You've never roasted me this much.
Nah, it's not even. It's Laker fans I'm roasting, like, and the irrational Laker fans. Obviously, not super producer Lee, who was very irrational. He's like, so if we don't make it, we don't make it. Nah, Laker fans thinking they got LeBron, they winning the champ this year, today. You're not. You're not. You're just not.
I agree. All I'm saying is the Lakers need to be worried right now. We're getting into playoff contention.
Well, first of all, they're as of right now, they are out of the playoffs.
I'm just saying we're trying to fight for playoff contention.
Look, the question is the rest of that squad. How do you feel about it? Are you?
They're young. They're inconsistent. They're unpredictable. Brandon Ingram, you don't know what he's going to
And
do
so
on the floor when he walks on.
here
Kuzma,
is your challenge.
he's getting consistent.
Here is your challenge, and that's the thing with young players. You don't know what they're going to be when they finally figure it out. Now, they may never figure it out, and that's the thing is, you just said, I have a crystal ball. You don't have a crystal ball, so you don't know. I mean, case in point, here, look at someone like D'Angelo Russell, right? Drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Played under Byron Scott, and during the Kobe farewell tour, which is just all bad for him. He didn't get a chance to really see how Kobe worked or any of that sort of nature. Byron Scott is a militant coach, hates young point guards, so he would get yanked out of games. He didn't get a chance to develop. All of a sudden, look who's playing well in Brooklyn, 22 years old, got his stuff together. Look, and
I still forget that D'Angelo Russell's 22.
And part of it was his immaturity. Well, look, he was 19 when think about you at 19. Think about me at 19.
Yeah.
Think about me now. I do dumb things. But you do dumb things when you're young. Like, you're just not,
Can you imagine us as journalists at 19?
I'd probably be kicked out of mad locker rooms then, saying all kinds of reckless things. But, you don't know. And Ingram, he showed flashes in that game against the Rockets, that overtime game.
Yeah.
Kuzma
He
showed.
stepped up. Kuzma's been getting consistent.
Again, but the question is that's not enough with LeBron to win a title. That's not enough to compete against Golden State.
Not
enough
this
to
year.
compete against the Celtics. Not this year. But again, the Lakers aren't about that. Let's play the long game and develop and then whatever. No, they want to start winning chips right away. And if they want to do that, that means they got to get another big-time free agent in with LeBron. Whether that be Anthony Davis, whether that be, and he's not even a free agent yet, he won't be until the following summer.
Yeah.
Whether that be Kawhi Leonard, whomever. That's what's going to help them get over the hump, is people who are, as I always say, Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis today. Like, who is a star player today, right now?
Exactly.
Because they want to maximize that LeBron window, which is 4 years. So they don't got time for development. Like, they need guys to.
You're right. That's what they have to
I
think
need you to
about.
play now. But that's the gift and the curse when you are a Laker fan and you rock with this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you converse them to Brooklyn, right, who has no pedigree of, winning championships. The Lakers are a storied franchise. But Brooklyn's about player development. Look at guys like Karis LeVert, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Allen only his second year. These guys are getting better and better. Because Brooklyn Nets fans, the small amounts that there are, they realize, this is a long game. Laker fans don't know about no long game. They're like, no, we're winning now. Titles now. We got LeBron now. And well, okay, if it's about now, either Lonzo, Kuzma, and all of them, and Ingram have to get good overnight, or you ship them out and you get established guys in. That's what you're doing, because there's no middle ground there. It's one or the other. And as I said, I know Laker fans don't want to play the long game, so those guys are going to get shipped out in some form or fashion.
It's going to be very interesting when the trade deadline rolls around, because I feel like they're going to make a move of sorts. I just don't know what it's going to be.
Well, here's the thing about the trade deadline, and we'll talk about this more next week during our trade deadline special.
Yeah.
There are a lot of teams who want to be buyers.
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of teams selling. So I don't know who's going to be available on the market to get.
Exactly. So we'll have to see. I mean, like we said, Lonzo 4 to 6 weeks. LeBron is day to day, and Rondo could come back with tape fingers, but kind of
Shout out
refuses to
Rondo.
because that's not his style. So we'll have to see who returns to the court. Let's move on here to a little more headlines that we need to get you guys involved in. Let's talk about Carmelo Anthony.
What's up with Melo?
What is up with Melo? All right, guys, what's up? We ask about what's up going on around the league, with whether it's players or headlines. So, what is up with Carmelo Anthony? He officially becomes a free agent, is released from the Rockets and sent to the Chicago Bulls, but will not play for the Chicago Bulls.
Per Woj, yep.
Per Woj. So where is Melo going to go? Where is he going to fit? I see a lot of players, veteran players around the league sticking up for him. Allen Iverson is one of them, saying he's Hall of Fame talent. Otto Porter Jr. of the Wizards, or, you know.
Listen, they can all stick up for him and say all they want. Are any of them GMs?
No?
Oh, so, well.
All right. Tell me where you see Melo, though. A lot of people say LA, but
LeBron, he's not going to LA.
where is he going?
Here's the thing. What I think Melo wants is the ability to end his career on his terms, is what I think he's looking for.
Of course.
And he hasn't been afforded that opportunity,
No.
right? It didn't work in Houston. It obviously didn't work in OKC last year. Look, he's not very good anymore. And a team would bring him on if he was willing to do the things that he doesn't like doing.
Yeah.
Screening, the dirty
Defense.
right? the dirty work and catching and shooting, not pounding the ball for 25 seconds and no, that's not. That's gone. ISO Melo, that's those days are long behind us now. And it's sad now because in many ways it's becoming a punchline, right? Like like a joke, like hoodie Melo. Now it's like unemployed Melo, like all this stuff. It's like, look, this is a guy that has a Hall of Fame career, excellent player, the Denver Nuggets for the Knicks, a USA Olympian, gold medalist, like, great career. But listen, man, Father Time's undefeated.
I hear you.
It comes to an end. It would be lovely if he was able to close his career out the way he wanted to, but I just don't think it's feasible.
That's what I'm saying. So you honestly can sit here and tell me that you don't think he has a place in this league right now?
I mean, if he wants to go to like Atlanta and sell tickets, and
I'm just saying
crappy
though,
team,
you don't think he has a place in this league at all to teach younger guys,
does Melo
create a little bit of offense?
Does Melo want to teach younger guys?
He obviously doesn't want to retire.
But that's the thing, though. You can not want to retire, but the question is, this is what we want. Are you willing to do these things? I know what you want to do, but we don't think you can do that anymore, and it's proven that you can no longer do that.
Here's my thing, which bothers me, and obviously none of us know the details, but you see what Dwayne Wade is doing in Miami. He's doing the perfect exit, and I'm not comparing or saying that Melo should do that. I'm just saying he's in Miami to a non-winning team, basically non-championship winning team, but he's teaching these younger guys. It's his home. I get it, but he's doing it perfectly. If Melo can figure out a little bit of that kind of mentality where you go in as kind of, the veteran that's going to teach these young guys, help people develop, come off the bench, play a few minutes, but a few effective minutes, I mean, I still think he has a place in this league. I just don't know where and who exactly needs or wants that. And it comes down to, like you said, if Melo even wants that role.
Well, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. Does Melo want to do any of those things?
Yeah.
Because Dwayne Wade's doing that in Miami. First of all, Miami is a special place because that's where Dwayne Wade won his championships, and they call it Wade County for a reason, right? Like, he is a cornerstone of that franchise. What franchise in the NBA does Melo have that kind of relationship with?
Had it with the Knicks.
It ain't the Knicks anymore.
No, I'm just saying had.
It ain't the Denver Nuggets. Where is it? Well, and again, is he willing to be a Vince Carter type? Hey, there be nights, Melo, where you're getting DNP CDs. You cool with that and just teaching younger guys? If he is, cool. Then ride out that way. But that's not, here's the thing, we don't know because he has never expressed what he's willing to or not willing to do.
Yeah.
But the GMs around the league must know, look, he won't help us.
All right. Let's talk about the Mavericks and Dennis Smith Jr. because his future is kind of up in the air too. So trade rumors going around, everything. Mavs coach comes out and says that he contacted DSJ's agent and said that he's welcome back whenever he feels better. So the trade rumors have a little bit subsided, but what is going on here in Dallas?
What's going on is that
I mean, Luka's obviously being picked over
Yes.
DSJ.
Listen, folks, we talk about this all the time. These are NBA players. They're great. They're skilled at basketball, but they have ego and they have pride and they have feelings. And, you know, when you look at a team as like a group of kids and you got a parent as a coach, sometimes coaches play favorites, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Luka Doncic is the man in Dallas. He is the one they draw up plays for late in games. He's the lead ball handler. He is the guy. And by the way, this isn't because of a favorite thing. It's warranted. I mean, Luka is that good. And for Dennis Smith Jr., he's looking at it like, well, wait a minute. I was a draft pick last year. How come I'm not getting, you know? And so he's feeling some type of way about it. And the big thing with DSJ is, you know, Carlisle, as you know, the head coach in Dallas, he is notoriously tough on his point guards, and DSJ has decision-making issues. And look, point guard is the hardest position to play in this league, and to play well. We just talked about D'Angelo Russell. He's 22, and he's now starting to get it. It takes a long time.
It does. And you're right, he
Look,
is just starting
you
to
ain't-
get it.
Listen, Chris Paul and these guys are anomalies, right? They're the greats of the greats. It takes most point guards a while to figure this out. What is thy balance between scoring and setting up my teammates? How do I read coming up the pick and roll? Do I explode? Do I lay back? These are things that takes time to learn. And unfortunately, sometimes when you learn, you're going to get some lumps and some growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of coaches don't like dealing with that because it's a lot of turnovers, it's also a lot of lost games. And it's one thing coaches cannot stand is losing and turnovers and losing games. It
Yeah.
drives them crazy. But when you have a young point guard, that's what it is. And so, you know, Carlisle sort of like, you know, putting a good face on it and saying, hey, you know, DSJ's welcome back anytime. And again, who knows what DSJ is going to be like in 2 years? He could be great. We don't know.
We'll have to see. I mean,
We don't know.
like we said, the trade talks have simmered down, but we'll see when
Guess what?
the deadline comes around.
That is a 20, I think he's 21. It's a 21-year-old.
He's very young.
21-year-old point guard who
Yeah.
only his second year in the league. Hey, there are teams who believe in their player development system and are like, we'll happily take DSJ. So
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Exactly. Let's move on here to
Oh, what's up?
what is up with Joel Embiid, or what is up with Russell Westbrook getting in a lot of beef lately. Okay, Embiid and Westbrook got into it a little bit here. They're not cool. Obviously, Westbrook confirmed that in a post-game interview after he played the Sixers. And then Embiid comes out in the press conference and says that, I don't know what's going on with Westbrook. He's always in his feelings. They're trolling each other. I mean, then you have Russ and Damian Lillard going at it. Russ says, I've been busting your ass for years. I mean, what
Russ
is
going
that?
at it with Nurkic.
Yeah, calling him a clown. Nurkic says,
Westbrook.
calls him Westbrook, which that was a little
That's hilarious.
hysterical. I mean, what is this Russ's personality, or is this just too much now?
I mean, look, this is who Russ is, right? Russ is the proverbial I play with a chip on my shoulder guy.
Yeah.
That he is that dude.
Mm-hmm.
That is what has propelled him to league MVP, to triple doubles, to he is a singular force when you watch him play basketball. You feel Russ in a way you don't feel any other player when you watch them.
And that's a special part about him.
Yes, and I imagine anyone who plays defense against him will tell you, you feel him, like physically feel him.
Mm-hmm.
Russ was not a high recruit coming out of high school.
No, nobody expected him to be this type of player.
No one thought he was going to be great coming out of the draft except for Sam Presti, who drafted him way higher than anybody thought. I mean, he was a defense-only guy at UCLA when he played with Kevin Love and that crew.
Isn't that weird?
It was not, not even remotely good offensively.
Mm-mm.
Could cut to the rim a little bit and dunk, but that was it.
A little bit.
But that was it.
Now he's got hops.
I mean, well.
So he says.
And now, he has turned himself into, wherever you want to put him, top 10 player in the league and MVP, right? The current, he won MVP 2 years ago, triple-double king, all that. Russ uses slights against that he feels from other people as fuel. That fuels him.
We have
Okay.
somebody saying here on live, Westbrook is starting to be Lance Stevenson. LOL. Our friend Champagne. Shout outs.
Shouts Champagne. Russ the opponent is his enemy. Literally. If you are on the other team,
watch out.
you are his enemy. He is like a heat-seeking missile sent to destroy you. That is how he approaches every
Love the way you describe it.
preseason, regular season. It don't matter what season.
He doesn't care.
That's who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But on the real, come on, Russ. It's getting a little old with this stuff now, right? Like, Embiid goes up for the block and listen, Embiid's 7'2". Like, when a big body like that falls into you, that's gonna happen. Like, whatever. The whole idea of like Dame have been busting your ass for years. I mean, there's some validity to that, right? So I went back and looked at their head-to-head matchups.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Russ is 10-11 all time in 21 games versus Dame. He's averaged 30, 7, and 8 on 44, 30, and 82 shooting splits. You know, pretty decent. Dame, conversely, obviously if Russ is 10-11, he's 11 and 10. He averages 22, 4, and 7, so less numbers.
Yeah.
On 41, 34, and 89% shooting. Look, the head-to-head matchup in terms of wins losses is about even. Russ gets the better of him in terms of scoring more points, but also doing it slightly less efficiently from three.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the idea that like I've been busting your ass for years, like have you though? I mean, I don't know about all that. Like, I mean
it's Westbrook, so you know that trolling is heightened.
That's just who he is.
Extremely.
I loved how the reporter asked Westbrook after the game about Nurkic, and he said almost about that clown under his breath.
Under his breath, but you got that in the audio.
But we all heard it, and then Nurkic quote tweeting it. The reception going, "Why not, Westbrook?" Of course, referencing Westbrook's terrible shooting percentages this season. Listen, this is one of the reasons we love the NBA because they are the petty kings.
It's incredible.
They are the kings of petty.
Are you cool with Joel Embiid? F no.
Petty wop, we love it. This is who these people. It's awesome.
I love it.
And they clown on social media. It's great. Look,
Very
at the end of the day, these guys are competitors. They go at each other between the lines. But listen, you want to have some fun off the, outside in social media? Cool.
Exactly. Amen. And despite it being old or not, in general, this type of banter within the NBA is much needed because it shows the passion in the game. It shows how these guys are playing. It shows the level that they're playing at. And it's really fun. It's engaging. It's fun. But let's move on here, okay? Because really quick, before we do our All-Star selections, we have to give a special shout-out to Kevin Durant. Opens the Durant Center in Suitland, Maryland to help low-income and undeserving students enroll and graduate from college. That is incredible.
That's awesome.
That is amazing.
We often talk about
this is what it's about.
The negatives that these athletes do, and why don't they do more of this? Why don't they do more of that? Funny we don't ask their billionaire owners the same, but that's neither here nor there.
That's a conversation for a different time.
But it's awesome. What guys like Kevin Durant are doing, LeBron. I mean, these guys are legitimately giving back. You can talk to these guys; they'll all tell you they're so fortunate to be where they are. They're so blessed. And, the ability to give back and help those less fortunate, they see a need and they'll do it. Because for most of them, they were the less fortunate kids.
I was just going to say, for a lot of them, that was them.
That was them.
They couldn't afford the sneakers.
Right.
They couldn't afford to go to
All
school. They couldn't do this and that. And that's why all these guys do come into the league with a chip on their shoulder because they want to give back to their families.
Absolutely.
And their parents
and their
who sacrifice so much in the community.
And
exactly.
it's awesome. Great job by Kevin Durant.
Exactly. And what I love the most, lastly, while we close this out, is that it's for education.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Education. So it's
that
so
matters.
important. Love it. Congrats to him. Congrats to everybody on that. It's special. Now let's move into our All-Star selections. Now, before this episode was taped on January 24th, the All-Star starters were announced and the captains.
Yeah, just like what, an hour or two ago.
An hour or two ago, yeah.
Just got announced.
Right before we recorded. Would you like me to announce them, Gerard?
Yes. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Announce the captain and the All-Star starters.
Okay. The Eastern Conference captain is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Mm-hmm.
His starters are Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, and Kemba Walker.
So, Jenna, tell me your All-Star starters for the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Again, this was done before the NBA announced who was actually going to start. Who do you have?
Okay, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, and Bradley Beal.
You and Bradley Beal. Okay.
I do have Bradley Beal.
All right.
I do.
You love Bradley.
Love me some. Love me James and Bradley Beal?
I will be happy to say
Tell
that
me yours.
I was exactly correct with I had Giannis as the captain and the leading vote getter, of course. Kawhi, Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, and Kemba Walker. And I picked Kemba Walker because I did the sentimental thing. He's the unofficial host. It is in Charlotte. It's his town. So I was 5 for 5. Those are my starters.
I'm already annoyed. I'm already annoyed.
you're-
You were right.
Listen.
And you know what? I give it to you because you're right. I should have picked Kemba. I'm so dumb. Ugh. All right, fine. Whatever.
Why are you so angry?
I'm so angry. I get so, you know me, I'm so competitive. I get so annoyed. All right. Would you like me to announce the official NBA Western Conference?
Yep.
Starters.
Let's get to the West.
Okay. I couldn't be more pleased to
I'm
announce
sure.
that the Western Conference All-Star captain is LeBron James.
Yes, okay, LeBron James.
So
we know.
excited. Super producer Lee, you know you're excited about that too.
Facts.
That's right. You will never break this bond that her and I have now.
Yes, listen. You act like I don't like LeBron. Like that's not.
It's not that you don't, but we need to remind you.
Yeah, I don't worship him like
sometimes.
you two do. That's
Exactly,
fine.
that
That's
you
cool.
should worship
That's cool.
him.
That's cool. That's cool.
Luka's not a starter. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of things here on live. Luka's not a starter because
It wasn't. We'll get to that in a
You
minute.
know.
So
Anyway.
LeBron's the captain. Go on.
LeBron James, captain of the Western Conference.
Okay.
Kevin Durant,
Mhm.
rightfully so.
Yep.
Paul George,
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Curry,
Mhm.
and James Harden.
Okay. So tell me who your Western Conference starters were, Jenna.
All right, well, I
know
had
you-
everybody but one.
You had LeBron James, of course.
Oh, God, come on now.
Okay. Yeah.
And next to him, I have because. Just because.
Okay.
LeBron James, I have Steph Curry, James Harden,
Mhm.
Kevin Durant, and I have Anthony Davis.
Ah, so Davis is the one that they got put Paul George over Davis.
Yep,
So,
Davis was my one. I mean, Paul George is on my reserve.
So,
but
Jenna,
we'll get there. Tell me yours.
like you, I was 4 for 5.
Okay.
I have LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Steph Curry. My other front court player was Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets,
Okay.
who, hey, 19-10-7, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference.
Alrighty.
I figured he's the
We
guy.
were both pretty close. Give it
Listen.
to me right here
Listen,
We were both pretty close
we know our all
on those
stars.
all-star picks.
All right, you want to get into
Let's get
into the reserves?
Yes,
You want
absolutely.
to go back to the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, let's go back to the Eastern Conference reserves. Do you want me to say mine?
Yeah, just run them down.
Okay, here we go. Dwayne Wade. I'm sorry, but this is the man's last time. Of course I want to see Dwayne Wade in the All-Star game with LeBron. I mean, come on, I'm sorry. I don't even have to defend it at this point, okay?
All
last
right,
dance,
listen,
that's all I
you
have
do
to say.
you. All right, it's all
Hashtag
good.
last dance. Yeah,
Okay.
you tell me to do me. You
Do
know what
you.
I'm saying? We're about to fight in the parking lot after this like Devin Booker. All right. Dwayne Wade, Ben Simmons, Kemba Walker, Pascal Siakam.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
Siakam, yeah.
I took a page out of your book, honey.
You did.
Eric Bledsoe.
Okay. Ooh, I like that.
You like that?
I
You love Bledsoe, too. I
I
knew
like
you'd be
Bled.
so proud
I like
of me.
Bled.
I knew you'd be so proud of me. Blake Griffin.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like
And
that.
I had Victor Oladipo.
Listen, he's got. We didn't know when we picked this that he was going to be out for the season, so that
So
that stays.
sad. So sad.
I'm going to go with my reserves. So, like you, Ben Simmons, Victor Oladipo, Nikola Vucevic from the Orlando
Ooh,
Magic.
He was almost there for me.
Bradley Beal, who you had as a starter.
Mhm.
Domantas Sabonis from the Indiana Pacers.
I like it.
Leading the
I like
second
it a
unit.
lot.
I love Sabonis.
I like it a lot.
Blake Griffin, like you. And are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one?
Okay.
Brooklyn Nets fans, stand up. D'Angelo Russell.
You know what? This is it.
D'Lo.
First applause I've ever given on season 1 and 2 of
D'Lo. And I know I don't have
Yes.
Bled on there. I don't have Middleton. Like, I get it.
I'm surprised you know Bled, I'm not going to lie.
People are going to look at me right now and be like, you have only one All-Star from Milwaukee, only one All-Star from Toronto, only one All-Star from Boston.
Hey.
Listen, I get it, but look,
You got to do what you got to do.
that's how I'm feeling.
Exactly. No, I like your picks. I really do. I wish I had more room, you know? I just...
Look, the one that people are definitely going to quibble about with me is probably Sabonis, for sure. They'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
Sabonis. But look,
People are going to get on you for it.
Sabonis is leading that second unit for Indiana.
Exactly, and that's the thing is, though, and you know, you and I will agree on
Right,
this.
right.
People aren't judging on what they're seeing right now. You
I
know
know,
that.
I know,
Because
I
you're
know.
seeing all these, like, weird votes and things like
Please.
that. Like, what was it? D. Rose, not hating on him, but got more votes than Harden at
Stop
one
it.
point. Come
Stop
on.
it.
Come on.
Stop Stop it. All right.
D'Angelo Russell, ice in the veins.
Listen, man, he has been balling lately.
He has. And good for him. I'm so happy for him.
Listen,
and he's only 22.
And I am very critical of him, always harping on things that he can't do. But listen, that young man is playing outside his mind right now.
Deserves it.
And a huge reason why the Nets are where they are.
Deserves the credit. All right, all right.
Our Western Conference reserves?
Western Conference reserves. All right, you ready?
Yep, shoot.
Okay, here I go. Russell Westbrook,
Mhm.
Rudy Gobert,
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Jokic,
Mhm.
Paul George,
Mhm.
duh,
Mhm.
Damian Lillard.
Yep.
You'll like this one, Drew Holiday.
Ooh. Wow.
Are you impressed with me?
I am very impressed with your All-Star picks. Drew, well done. You
Thank you, honey. I
Look at that.
appreciate that.
That's some like deep inside NBA stuff right there with
That's
Drew
it.
Holiday. I like that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I was so proud of him. I was typing it out. I was like, oh, here we go. Okay, and obviously Klay Thompson.
Wow. You know what? I rock with your reserves.
Thank you. It means so much to me when you compliment me because I'll be the first to admit this, and I don't care. I don't care. You know your basketball,
Well,
your
listen,
NBA
you
so
know,
well. I
you know.
could never even play in your ballpark.
No,
I
you're-
actually get happy that you allow me
You're
to
getting.
be
Listen.
one half of this duo.
You're good, man. You're good money.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're good
it.
money.
I really do appreciate it. I learned so much though from you.
Oh, Mutual Admiration Society. We're loving it here.
We're
All
not
right.
fighting for once. Weird.
my reserves.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
PG,
Wes.
PG-13,
Of course.
obviously. Anthony Davis, who you had as a starter. Dame, of course. Rudy Gobert, we agree there. Russell Westbrook, of course. So these are the only two we can agree on.
Okay.
DeMar DeRozan.
Ooh, okay. I like it though.
And this last one, I agonized over it because we talk about him a lot and about what he didn't do and how he hasn't stepped up the way he should be stepping up. But man, those numbers we've been putting up lately have been out of control. I'm talking about Karl-Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Amen. I love you because I have to say I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, Karl Anthony Towns as my last of the West reserves,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'm not gonna lie, at the last second before we left, because we prepped together
Right.
before this,
Right.
before we left, I exited out and put in Klay Thompson. I was like, no, I need Klay, 14 threes, I need Klay. But I respect that.
Yeah, Cats. And for me, the reason why Clay is out is, Clay had such a subpar start to the season. He's
Yeah.
been playing better of late.
Yeah, you're right.
But, and listen, folks, the All-Star, reserve, starters, whatever, these guys are all going to tell you it's a privilege to be there, privilege to be an All-Star. The 7-footers will be in Charlotte for All-Star weekend.
I was just gonna say.
in a couple weeks. We're looking
Exactly.
forward to that. No,
May have
and-
some surprises for you guys.
Yeah, oh yeah, some definite surprises. Hopefully make them come through.
Yes, NBA All-Star Weekend is 3 weeks away.
Yep.
7-footers will be there,
Will be there,
on
yep.
site, covering everything we
All
can, giving
the
you guys
excitement.
inside access. Another reminder, NBA trade deadline is February 7th.
Yes.
Not too long, and the 7-footers, Gerard,
Yep.
we will...
Next
what?
week we're gonna do a pre-trade deadline conversation and figure out who might go to certain places.
Exactly. And that's
Who
gonna
might be on the move? Who
it's
were
gonna be
buyers?
fun.
Who were sellers?
It's very interesting, because as you said last week, the talk is a little bit simmered.
It's
hush,
quiet.
hush.
Again, I think a lot of teams want to improve, like the Houston Rockets, for example,
Yeah.
desperate because the injury bug has killed them. The Brooklyn Nets now seem like they're a squad that may want to be buyers.
Yeah,
But who's selling?
exactly.
We'll find out.
We will find out. We'll see you guys next week. 7-footers trade deadline special episode, and who knows? Maybe we'll have some special guests rolling through in February.
I think so.
Is that a teaser?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're definitely have some special guests coming through. in
That's
February.
right, and you might recognize them. So
You definitely will.
you watch the NFL, you watch the NBA. Oh, too many teasers.
You're
Gotta
giving
go.
up too much information.
I am. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Peace. Dude, that's good, man. We get on these rolls and it's like.